Global Entrepreneurship Week underway from Sunday, November 17. Area representative for the International Telecommunication Union praised Dominica for efforts in ICT. And officials are viewing the inaugural visit of Carnival Conquest as a good sign. Thanks for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Tarnia Green.
And I'm Kimani Saint-Jean. Stay with us for details of the headline stories and others after the break.
If you can believe this.
Come by my house and let me show you some movies.
Why can't you believe this? Some mothers don't believe their own children when they say they've been sexually abused, and they don't report it. Remember, if anyone asks to see or touch their private parts, touches them inappropriately, shows them or forces them to touch one's private parts, has sex with them, shows them pornographic material, or deliberately lets them hear or see the act of sex, then it is sexual abuse. Believe your child and report the sexual abuse. For more information about child abuse, contact these agencies. This message brought to you by UNICEF and this station.
Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. The inaugural visit of the Carnival Conquest cruise ship in Roseau on Monday is being considered as a good sign by tourism officials. Government officials, representatives of the Discover Dominica Authority, and tourism stakeholders welcomed the captain and crew of Carnival Conquest to the island amid steel pan music and drumming at the Roseau cruise ship berth. This is the first Carnival cruise ship since the company pulled out of Dominica in 2012. CEO of the Discover Dominica Authority and Director of Tourism, Colin Piper, was the first to welcome the ship's captain to the island, stating, and I quote, "1,000 shades of green welcome you," end of quote. Tourism Minister Honorable Ian Douglas addressed the brief ceremony, expressing hope for a restored and mutually beneficial relationship.
Your calling on Dominica today is a sign of things to come. We have enjoyed previously about what a 15 or 20-year relationship with the Carnival Corporation, and we treasure that relationship, and we had always hoped that we would have reunited again, and reunion is always very good. It's joyous, and we are very pleased today to have you on our shores.
According to the Tourism Minister, government, tourism officials and other stakeholders have spent valuable time assessing and improving the island's tourism product. We
hope that you will get the feedback from your passengers and you will let us know so that we can continue to improve the product. We have done a lot of soul searching. We have reviewed our product with a view to improving it so that your guests can have a once-in-a-lifetime experience in Dominica.
The ship's agent, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited, represented by Kiera Ed, also welcomed the captain and his crew, expressing optimism about the future. Benoit Badwell, Chief Executive Officer of Dominica Air and Seaport Authority, revealed interesting facts about the ship's visit.
It's been a long time in terms of the time that since a Carnival ship has been in port. A lot of negotiations behind the scenes to ensure that we can have a ship back here. I am in touch with your office. I know that your visit here is also, we have had confirmed another booking for the next season, which is good things, a sign of good things to come. We are still discussing with the office to try to see how we can encourage those persons in marketing and doing the itinerary planning to in fact include Dominica for more visits. We used to love the day when Carnival comes in port, because as soon as the ship comes, the first thing that your crew would do would be to connect the water to start the loading operation. And I see some of that is happening, so I'm indeed happy. In talking with the cruise director this morning, I was very encouraged in the sense that the tour numbers went up, and that's an encouraging sign for us.
Captain Francesco, a captain for 30 years, promises a favorable report for the island. He says he's very impressed with the product.
I was in Dominica in 2004, and definitely I fully agree with you. I knew from my very first time in Dominica that the island is an exclusive island. Definitely is a natural island with its beauty, natural beauty, that you cannot compare this island with the rest of the Caribbean islands. I've been again well over 30 years in the cruise industry and just with Carnival, and for sure Dominica is the natural island. Whatever you offer, other islands they cannot offer. They can offer the beach, they can offer the beautiful sea, but you offer different things, natural things, that I hope our guests will appreciate. I'm sure they will do. I'm sure you will. You are improving your product, which is very important. You are keeping good relation with the Carnival Corporation and Carnival Office, with Miko Cascais, which is our Vice President in charge of the tours. So by keeping good relation with our people in the office is a very good positive thing. And with any doubts, I will do my best to write my good report to my bosses in the office, making sure that we will continue to keep a good relation, and I really hope to come back to Dominica. Definitely, I would love that we are coming back again on a regular cruise from San Juan or maybe from Miami.
Government has been dialoguing with the cruise line since Dominica was removed from its itinerary. The arrival of the Carnival Conquest shows the fruit of those discussions. Authorities are urging tourism stakeholders to put their best foot forward to ensure a pleasant and memorable visit for the 323,000 cruise visitors expected to visit during this cruise ship season. This season, 42 more calls are expected from last season, 2012-2013. This means approximately 110,000 more visitors.
Celebrating youth, creativity, passion, and participation. That's the theme for this week's Global Entrepreneurship and Youth Week activities, which began on Sunday. The Youth Development Division, along with its main partners, the Dominica Youth Business Trust, the National Youth Council of Dominica, and 4 international organizations are facilitating the event. The island's Chief Youth Development Officer, John Roach, spoke with GIS News on Friday, where he explained that a committee comprising representatives of the several youth-focused local organizations is spearheading the activities. This committee was responsible for the theme selection.
When the committee met, they came up with activities that will definitely portray. When we talk about the creative arts and music, we know young people, they have a passion for those things. The cricket, the sports, young people have a passion for sports and those areas. The creativity, when we talk about the work that our young people are doing as young business persons, the young people at the Roseau Youth Center, the Life Skills Program, is showing the creativity of our young people. And participation, when we meet to discuss about issues like youth employment, for young people to take decisions as far as their life is concerned, is really allowing the young people to participate in the decision-making process, not only of their own lives, but in terms of the country on a whole.
The youth official is proud of the accomplishments of Global Entrepreneurship Week in Dominica.
Dominica Youth Business Trust actually won a major award last year from the Global Entrepreneurship Congress, which was the Champion Catalyzer Award for the most partners per capita, and that is a major achievement. We're talking about from 123 countries across the globe. So that's a major achievement for a small island like Dominica. Okay, and we were also among the top 5 nominees for the Global Entrepreneurship Week Impact Award in terms of the impact the program had. We won that award as well. So we were not won it, but we were among the top, the 5 nominees from again 123 countries. So these are 2 major recognitions, for the Dominica Youth Business Trust. The Dominica Youth Business Trust won the Public Service Team Award last year as well.
He says those achievements, among others, prove the usefulness of the week-long event.
It's a program that is showing that it has, it has the metal, it has what it takes to really drive young people. Especially, 90% of enterprises around the world are small enterprises. So that means that this is a sector that has a very important role to play in the economic development of any country. And we're talking about not just developing states, but developed countries as well. So DYBT has a major role to play in the development of the national economy.
Global Entrepreneurship Week officially began on Sunday with an ecumenical service at the Fatima Catholic Church in Newtown and the 2020 cricket match between a cabinet representative team and the youth. By the end of play, the cabinet team won by 6 wickets. On Monday, the Roseau Youth Center put on a display for the public. A bus shelter was commissioned in Grand Bay, and a major youth consultation also took place at Grand Bay. On Tuesday, the Youth Development Division and the DYBT will be live on Experience Creole from 2:15 p.m. This will be followed by a creative art and music symposium at the Public Service Union. We'll bring you details of the consultation and other activities in subsequent newscasts.
In related news, as part of activities marking Youth Week, participants of the Life Skills Training Program got a chance to put their newly acquired skill on display. When GIS visited the Roseau Youth Center, young men and women were engaged in preparing items of jewelry for their craft display, food for their skills learned in hospitality, and items of furniture for woodwork. We spoke with one young woman whose interest is in woodwork.
I decided to choose woodwork because I want to further in it. Because what a man can do, I want to do it too.
One young man was busy at work building a table. He said having this skill will enable him to be self-dependent and have the means of being gainfully employed. Ruthine Roye is the crafts tutor. She told GIS that there has been a great interest in crafts over the years. She gave insight on the program.
We teach the young people different skills that they can later on learn to employ themselves. Right now we're doing jewelry making out of local material like coconut shell and calabash and bamboo and local wood like kubawi, that sort of thing. Basically we go through the steps of just cutting and preparing and just putting together anyway to make a nice piece of jewelry, something somebody can wear, something you can do at home that's not so involved.
The young persons put on a display of their neatly crafted items at the Roseau Youth Center to be viewed by the general public on Monday afternoon.
Caribbean Area Representative for the International Telecommunications Union, Cleveland Thomas, who is on a familiarization visit to Dominica, told reporters last Friday that Dominica has the potential of being recognized as a major leader using technology in the Caribbean. During his visit to Dominica, Thomas had the opportunity to hold discussions with the island's telecommunications minister, Honorable Ambrose George, his permanent secretary, Davis Leta, as well as other key persons working in the ICT sector. Thomas praised the government of Dominica for the level of progress made in creating the enabling environment for the country to realize the full benefits of ICTs. He spoke specifically about recent legislation adopted by Dominica's parliament.
As far as legislation is concerned, that there were few instruments under e-legislation. And you have now certain e-signature, electronic funds transfer, and electronic transaction act and so forth. And I think this is very commendable. Equally, we understand that the ASICUDA system in customs working very, very, very well. Your electronic passports. Again, commendable.
Thomas is suggesting that Dominica share its ICT accomplishments with other regional counterparts.
The difficulty, if not challenge, is that most people, the world doesn't know what's going on in here. And I was really encouraging the minister and his team to tell their story. It's useful to tell their story. As a matter of fact, based on some applications we are hearing here, already in progress, it would be useful to share those applications within the Caribbean region, because it's one Caribbean, you know, mobile application, even the certified land application system that you have. I mean, I don't know that you have that throughout the Caribbean, and why not share it? Why not encourage your brothers and sisters in the region to make use of that, and probably the ITU can be a conduit which we can do that.
Thomas says based on discussions with government, his organization will seek to assist government with its plans at creating increased employment opportunities in the area of ICT.
Some of the discussions we have had centered around ICT for probably the youth program or the innovation center. There's need for probably more community centers and access to the community centers by different players in society. So that's one area. We have had discussion and we have agreed to partner in that area.
Discussions also centered around improving the efficiency of the use of ICTs within government offices and institutions by formulating a single ministry to deal with ICT-related activities as a means of cutting costs within the government structure.
The general trend and practice in the world now is for a single ministry or entity that would handle ICT-related activities, rather than it being spread in a number of ministries. We have seen the problems, if not the disadvantage, in that approach of having separate ministries handling ICT-related activities. A simple example is that in some countries you find that one ministry is negotiating with a particular provider, let us say for the purchase of computers. Another ministry is having negotiation and purchasing computers from that same provider, and yet they don't know, nor do they benefit from the economies of scale if there was a centralized ministry or entity handling that. So having joined up or a single ministry that will deal with some of that, I think would be very useful and a step in the right direction.
In concluding, Thomas described these meetings in Dominica as fruitful and constructive and pledged to continue to strengthen the relations between Dominica and the ITU. And Tarnia, I find this is such a good thing for Dominica that we're being commended highly from a person of that stature in terms of our ICT in Dominica. It means that we're doing something really wonderful in the country.
Yes, indeed, Kimani. And in listening to Mr. Thomas and his feedback on the meetings that he has had with the Minister of Telecommunications, the Permanent Secretary, and other persons involved in the ICT sector, he's really impressed with how far we have come as a small island. And he made specific reference to Dominica's success as it relates to the Asicuda World project now being implemented at the customs area. Yeah. Yes, he also mentioned our strides made at the registry department. You know that in the past there's been lots of talk about accessing birth certificates, marriage certificates online. Now all of these things are possible. And recently, at the last sitting of the House of Parliament, the Parliament was able to pass a number of legislative laws as it relates to Electronic Funds Transfer Act. We also heard of the fact that we have the Electronic Evidence Act as well. So these are two very important pieces of legislation that we can use. That's in effect right now. When we speak specifically about the Electronic Funds Act, what we are saying is that we can use these electronic transactions in the court as evidence.
And that's very important, right? Especially for how the world in which we live right now. You know, most of the crimes being committed now, you know, online. People don't really do physically anymore. And then we have telephones with videos and with text messages and BBMs and so on. So it's really, I think it's a really good thing that we can, you know, make that step forward and really sort of like modernize our system. So I think it's good for us in Dominica, in the Caribbean, and he's speaking about Dominica being a leader for other Caribbean countries.
That's very encouraging. So he encouraged the Minister of Telecommunications to share the good news that Dominica has to tell with all other Caribbean counterparts. So yes, indeed, that is very, very encouraging. And finally, this news time, in a time when economic development is a global challenge, the Roosevelt Skerritt-led administration continues to find creative ways to sustain the economy by providing jobs for Dominicans.
We had not sat on our hands in Dominica. We have continued to bring about policies and initiatives all geared towards addressing the present-day challenges that we have in Dominica.
The Small Business Support Unit, which was opened since 2008, has been a pillar of support to the micro and small business sector. Just this past Friday, government, through the Dominican National Petroleum Company, handed over a check valued at $2 million to the National Development Foundation for investment in the small business sector. The amount, which was loaned to the NDFD at an interest rate of 3%, will be unlended to the public at a rate of 6.5%. It is hoped that Dominicans who have started businesses through the Small Business Unit will be able to access loans to develop or sustain their businesses. At Friday's handing over ceremony, Honorable Colin McIntyre, the Minister for Employment, Trade and Industry, indicated that since the inception of the Small Business Unit, over 3,000 persons have applied for assistance. However, he said 1,281 has received support. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt at that same ceremony made the commitment to assist those who have applied but not yet benefited from the program.
And I'm saying to those who have not received that as Minister of Finance, I have said to the Minister that I need to have the full list of those who have not been given the assistance, and I need to know how much money the Small Business Support Unit needs to ensure that people who have legitimate requests, that their requests can be approved in a reasonable time.
Honorable Skerritt also took the opportunity to list several other initiatives taken by the government of Dominica to create employment and other opportunities.
We have created the Agricultural Investment Unit. And through this unit, we have provided tremendous financial resources to farmers through the Aid Bank. Two facilities under the Agricultural Investment Unit. One is a 0% interest loan to farmers. And the second one is a 50-50 arrangement to banana farmers. So if a banana farmer had contracted a loan of $40,000, $20,000 of that would be a grant, and $20,000 would be at 2% interest. We've also created the Dominica Youth Business Trust. Young people who do not have collateral, we go for a training program, and at the end of the training program, you develop a business plan, and the government of Dominica provides the security for those loans to the young people.
The Minister of Finance also listed the abattoir and the coffee processing plant as opportunities to take advantage of. According to Honorable Skerritt, the government has also helped sustain local manufacturing businesses through direct loan agreement to help sustain jobs. Prime Minister Skerritt said that although there is still much to be done, Dominica remains a model to be emulated by other small developing states.
Dominica has been and continues to be a model for many to follow. We may not be as rich as others. We may not be as affluent as others. But with what we have been able to do with the little that we have, it has been extraordinary. And this is why people always refer to what is called the Dominica model.
And that's news. When we come back, we'll bring you the tip of the day. Don't go away.
Do you have uncovered water storage drums around your home? Do you dispose of old tires, cans and old containers capable of holding water anywhere in your environment? Are you being bitten by mosquitoes, particularly at dusk and early morning? Do you keep houseplants in water? Do you spend your hard-earned cash to control mosquitoes? Has your community experienced dengue fever outbreaks? If your answer is yes to at least 3 questions above, you are at risk to dengue fever. Join the fight against dengue fever. The responsibility for a dengue-free Dominica lies with you. So, get rid of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
On today's tip of the day, we'll talk to you about the team behind your business success. A smooth-running, well-coordinated business team can set up for long-term growth and success. Here's what to consider when building your dream team. Creating a solid business team offers the obvious advantage in that it builds success, but it also offers entrepreneurial advantages.
Once your business team runs efficiently, you're free to work on your business instead of in it. The ability to step back from running the day-to-day operations lets you focus on the strategic planning, increasing market share, and continuously improving your products and services. These activities can ensure your long-term business growth and success. Before you can reach that strategic stage, you need to install a well-run, tightly coordinated team, including in-house staff, outsourced vendors and suppliers, and lawyers to build that path to success. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm.
You can friend us on our Facebook page and be sure to like our GIS Dominica fan page. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Tarnia Green.
And I'm Kimani Saint-Jean. Thanks for watching.